Must be a Monday because Microsoft is always dropping news on that day, even knowing this video is coming out on a Tuesday, so I guess it's not Monday anymore. But man, there is a lot of stuff to go over. Microsoft pretty much allowed a lot of people to blow the lid off of Xbox. They talked about load times and how backwards compatibility works, and it's gonna be a great time because who doesn't want to know everything about the system that they're going to be buying in the next 2 calendar months? I do. Let's talk about it. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy Forte, and thank you for checking out this video. Please hit that like button and please hit that subscribe button, and make sure you head over to Twitter. Follow me over there. It's the best place to interact with me as a gamer, so we can talk about the things we don't talk about in this video. So the excitement level around the Xbox Series X is something that a lot of people are really paying attention to. We got a lot of people that's trying this system for the very first time. We got Jeff Grubb over at VentureBeat, we got The Verge, we got Digital Foundry, we even got Austin Evans doing a video, and even one of my favorite tech YouTubers, Your Average Consumer, even got in on the fray. All of these different media outlets got a chance to basically just try off Quick Resume. They got a chance to try out backwards compatibility. They got a chance to pretty much try out a multitude of games to show exactly what the benefits from going from the Xbox One X to the brand new Xbox Series X. And the one thing that I definitely took away from what these influencers had to say is the fact that after playing on this brand new system, they didn't find it appealing to go back to their previous Xbox One X. And that seemed to be a very consistent message across the board with all of these influencers. So right now we're just going to take a look at exactly what they're so excited about. First, we're going to go over to what Tom Ward's comments were, and we're going to see exactly what he had to say about load times. He was like, the most significant and obvious improvement with existing games on Xbox Series X is the massive change to load times. I noticed load times drop in pretty much every single game I tested over the past week. Games like Sea of Thieves, Warframe, Destiny 2 have their load times cut in half, all the way up to 1 minute of load time cut off. In Destiny 2, for example, I can now load into a planet in the game in around 30 seconds compared to over a minute later on the Xbox One X, and nearly 2 minutes in total on a standard Xbox One. These improved load times are identical to my custom built PC that includes a fast NVMe SSD, and they genuinely transform how you play the game. You can get more quests and tasks done instead of sitting and looking at a planet loading. And that's very significant because now, being a person that plays Destiny 2 a lot, I can definitely just co-sign on this 100% because there is a huge difference between console and PC when it comes to load times. Now, if you do happen to have a external SSD on your Xbox, you can definitely make up a lot of the room that you're missing when it comes to spinning in orbit, pretty much is what I call it. But yeah, this is definitely something I was looking forward to the most. You want to be able to get into the games as fast as you possibly can, and like he said before, he saw this across a myriad of games, and this is a nice breakdown that he made that's on The Verge's website. It goes over the load times between the Xbox Series X and the Xbox One X, and it's very startling to see how much faster some of these games are really loading. You start at the very top when it comes to Call of Duty Warzone. That game takes 16 seconds to load on our next gen console. It takes 21 seconds to load on your Xbox One X. Red Dead Redemption, 52 seconds on your next gen console, 1 minute 35 seconds on your previous gen. The Outer Worlds takes 6 seconds to load on the Xbox Series X, and then it takes 27 seconds to load on the Xbox One X. We got Evil Within 2, 33 seconds on your next gen system, 43 seconds on your Xbox One X. You got Sea of Thieves, 20 seconds to load on the Xbox Series X, and then you have 1 minute and 21 seconds on the Xbox One X. Warframe, man, I love that game. I haven't played it as much as I used to, but it only takes 25 seconds to load on your next gen system. It takes 1 minute and 31 seconds to load on the Xbox One X, and the list just keeps going on. And as you get to the very bottom of that list, 43 seconds on Xbox Series X for Destiny 2, 1 minute 52 seconds on your Xbox One X, and it ain't even close for a lot of these. Now, a lot of people are going to tell you that these times are impressive, and I'm going to tell you they definitely are impressive due to the fact that if it was taking over a minute and a half for some of these games to load on previous gen hardware, the fact that these load times are being cut into a third in most cases, most of them half, is very significant. That just means that you're going to be able to enjoy your games a lot more. So I definitely understand where people are coming from because there's still going to be some load times in these games. The biggest thing that I'm looking forward to is the fact fact that what are next gen titles going to look like? That's going to be very exciting. Now, the next thing a lot of these influencers talked about is backwards compatibility and how these games are going to perform versus their earlier counterpart. Now, when it comes to most of the results, it seems like every game for the most part was able to hit a locked 60 frames per second with the occasional drop in frame rate to like 59, 56. I think Hitman was the one that went the lowest. It went down to 55, but across the board, every game saw an uptick in performance. The more astonishing thing is the fact that none of these games were optimized to be used on the Xbox Series X at this point. That means no developer support, no updates. That means even Xbox's compatibility team hasn't even got a chance to do a comb over and make a lot of these games performance even better when it comes to the brand new system. Now, I know there's been a huge point of contention for the fact that they picked a bunch of old games to showcase brand new hardware. And for the most part, you're right, but let's be honest here. A lot of people don't realize that a lot of these games are still in major development. A lot of stuff is happening behind the scenes to try to get these games out as fast as possible. Most people think a lot of these games are still going to get delayed out of 2020. I mean, at this point, we're all hoping for the best that the newer games do release for this holiday, like Call of Duty, like Cyberpunk and Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So at this point, we're really just taking advantage of the stuff that we have that's available to us right now. Pretty much every video or every benchmark that they used was based on a game that had an unlocked frame rate or it had a performance mode that was unlocked, so you can be able to see exactly how high the frames per second could get on that version of the game versus the Xbox One X. And like I said in the earlier parts of this video, it seems like all of those games are performing better, which you would 100% hope would be the case on the new Xbox Series X. Now, the closer we get to these games coming out, the closer we'll get to seeing more about these games on these brand new systems. For the most part, they were all shown on high-end PCs up until this point. And the final thing that they talked about was the SSD. Ryan McCaffrey talked about how the storage on that SSD is going to be 802 gigabytes after you subtract the operating system and all the quick resume features that they have built into the system. And that's not a surprise because that's pretty much what I was thinking was going to be, because on the Xbox One X, you have about 25% of your hard drive dedicated to just the OS itself. Now, when it comes to the expansion slot card, which is a 1 terabyte, that drops down to 920 once you format it on the system. So it will be interesting to see what Microsoft and what all these other developers do when it comes to file sizes going into the next generation. I know some games are going to get a lot smaller because they're going to have a smaller footprint just due to transfer speeds, and some games are going to have updates like Destiny that's going to make the game 30 to 40% smaller on your hard drive, which is always going to be a plus. So the most important thing is, what did you guys think about the SSD? What did you think about these loading screens? What did you think about the performance on a lot of these older games? I definitely want to hear from you down in the comment section on that. And last but not least, what do you think the most important feature is going to be in the next generation? I think frames per second is going to be the most important thing that's going to come out of this generation. What do you think? So guys, really appreciate you coming out. Really appreciate all the love and support on the channel over the course of the last few months. We definitely cruising along, and we're going to make a big difference in the future. Make sure you hit the like button on this video if you like the content, and make sure you sub to the channel if you want to get more of it. Please hit the bell icon because it definitely helps out this channel a lot to get you notified on all your videos when they come out on my channel. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good week. Peace.